Okay. See these little kids. How old is he, you guess? 5, 4, anyway, something like that. This is in a nature center in suburban Taipei. As you can notice that this young boy is very carefully move his foot, try to move one step forward down the slope, which is not paving well. And guess what this student are doing?
It can record your voice.
You know, this is your generation's culture. You all grown up in this style, okay? But what is this? What's the context or what's the environment these young kids are located? What's the environment? What's the background? Forest? Okay, forest. So we can discover that this class of student, middle school student, they took the bus, just like you have done. You took the bus to Yelio. This school kids took the bus to the nature center or to the woods and grabbed the opportunity, using the time efficiently and effectively, playing maybe PSP or Nintendo, I don't know, I've never played with that. So this is just showing some photo about the real life situation we are facing now. Is our next generation or even this generation are growing up within the context they are apart from the nature or the natural environment. So I need to emphasize that the concept is not everyone or with some value positive toward the environment or toward the stewardship of the environment. They need to be taught or need to involve themselves in the learning process. So from the photo here, you can see the knowledge, adult, children, giving knowledge or learning, understanding. All this student or teacher, they are observing some animal, and they need to continuously raise their interest toward the nature, and then they can develop gradually the appreciation about what they own, what they have. And then after that, once you have appreciation, knowledge, and understanding, then gradually you will develop the respect, the ethics toward environment or nature. Then you can gradually develop your behavior pattern or your action skill, generate your responsibility toward the nature, toward the environment, and then you will take action to do something good for the environment. For here, the photo, you see they are planting the trees or setting up some facility for the park. So, come back to the academic research, which is the boring part of my presentation. you are not going to go through this. I just want to show you that real research, academic research, already discovered that some significant factor will influence people's behavior toward the environment. And this research I cite here is Louis Challa, 1999. But I will read her study finding, the source of commitment to environmental protection. There are several factors. Experience of natural area or family, organization, negative experience, habitat destruction, or pollution, radiation, and education, or influenced by friends, or their vocation, their profession, sense of social justice, book or author, principles of religion, concern for children or their grandchildren. Okay. Now, all these are the factors influence humans' environmental behavior. What's the proportion or what's the different importance of these factors? This photo shows you the big words, the large words, and some are small words. Big words represent 70% of influence, and smaller words are different proportion. That means from childhood, from university year, from adulthood, you are influenced by different factors toward the performance of responsible environmental behavior. Let's look at the childhood. You will find experience of natural area and family. These two parts are the most important influence factors to bring about the later environmental behavior. Education, school education, the importance even smaller than experience of natural area and family. At the university year, education is important, just like we have gone through. The education experience important. Friends also important, have larger influence. Adulthood, the organization, probably you participate the wilderness society or conservation society. Your organization will influence you very much, and the vocation, your job. Okay, from this figure, I would like to raise the emphasis on today's presentation is experience of natural area and family played a very important role in helping a kid to grow up in a friendly environment toward the nature. And this is which is, I think, the key emphasis for today. But I'm not saying adults like you are not going to have opportunity to change. But once you have opportunity to contact the nature, will gradually bring about your sense of the environment. And at the school, different emphasis on environmental concern. older student, younger student, early age, later stage, and 4 areas of emphasis of environmental education. At the early year, environmental sensitivity is important. But gradually when you grow up, knowledge of reality is important. This is very simple, easy to understand. You cannot teach elementary school student, maybe first grader or 8-year-old student, the complicated ecological principle. But you can teach complicated environmental interaction on the atmosphere at the later year, at the university level. So the problem-solving skill also gradually expand the proportion and the content when you grow up, and the principle of earth and ecology also will increase the proportion. So all these 3 are based on the year. You will getting older, you will learn more sophisticated knowledge. But here, you will discover that broader on the bottom. That means we should emphasize more environmental sensitivity. So this is very similar to the research result I just showed you. And of course, if you would like to have a citizen to become a very environmental literate citizen, you should understand knowledge is important and insight. But commitment is important, and vision and the action experience. All these 4 factors are also influence on the environmental action and environmental responsible citizen. For those of you who can read Chinese, maybe I should give a quiz for any one of you translated into English for helping your colleagues here. Whole thing.
For everyone live in the building, to respond the government policy anti-drought when we don't have enough water, our community from now on temporarily shut down the swimming pool, spa, and the bathroom. We have no choice, and please forgive us. When you wash the car, use as least as water as you can. Don't use a spray, and use the towel to wipe the car instead of spraying. From the management.
Okay. Well, give applause. (2002), Taipei facing a severe drought. We are not having enough water, so every school, every community, all facing the challenge. They are only provided limited time, can have water. This is in Taipei City. And 2002, I took the photo from the elevator of my community. And this year, I believe most of you have the experience or idea about the severe typhoon hit Taiwan down the southern part on August 8. You remember that big typhoon? Probably. Within 3 days, am I right? Within 3 days, bring 27 1,600 millimeters precipitation to southern part of Taiwan. You may not understand how big, how much water it is within 3 days. 2,700 millimeters of precipitation. But I can describe in Taipei, annually we have around 3,000 millimeters of rain. That means almost nearly 1 year precipitation are pouring from the sky to the southern part of Taiwan within just 3 days. Can you imagine that? At that moment, we say Taiwan has too much water. And every part of the southern part of Taiwan are flooded. But now, 4 months later, in southern Taiwan, they are facing the drought. Some area, they do not have even a drop of rain after August 8th. This is tremendous challenge we are going to face, which we call it climate change. And you may already learn from other professors, but I'm just raising the issue is that you should be aware about the change. And the awareness, the sensitivity is important. At 2002, before 2002, the bathroom in my university are all like this. The faucet is the traditional one. You can turn it on and the water come out in a large quantity. But after that drought, my university installed the water-saving faucet. You should push it, and then the water come out for several seconds, and then shut up. And even you may notice that in Xinguang or Sogo department store, when you go to the bathroom, turn on the faucet, you will find they are stingy. The water they provided is so small quantity. All Taipei citizens changed after 2002. This is what I explained. A kind of environmental change, environmental behavior change. And now we are facing the big challenge, more severe than our parents, than our grandpa, because climate change. Okay? So we all need to change our attitude, change our knowledge, change our way of thinking toward a new environment challenge. But to our next generation, which is very important, if they do not have the real life contact with the nature, they can never feel the pain about lacking of water. For example, my elder son, when he was a 7th grader, he asked me, who paid the bill for the water we use every day? We call it 自来水. If I translate it from Chinese to English, 自来水 means the water come by itself, automatically come. But in English, you call it tap water. Do not have any meaning about they come automatically. So got to have someone pay the bill to buy the water. But my son, he had never had the idea about I pay the bill. Automatically transfer from my account, from my bank account. If the children, they only facing the electronic image about Taroko Gorge or the polar bear or anything related to the sustainability about the earth. if he can only contact those information and knowledge and video image from only the electronic device, then probably we are facing the next generation challenge is they won't feel any pain about racing about seawater, because all those information are just a small paragraph showing on the internet, on the Yahoo, on the Google News. This is the challenge part. And all the young children, they are growing up, actually they should learn from their own body, their experience. Like these children, they use their finger, their leg, their feet, their muscle to learn how to handle the challenge. Or maybe their parents or their teacher will bring them to some place to contact, to learn, to feel the environment. Maybe the best way is they have a responsible teacher or adult leading these children. This teacher is reading a storybook, telling a story in the woods. Normally, teachers are afraid to bring their student to the outdoors. They said the student will lose control, just like you guys. You go to Yale and then you spread out, you forget about your professor. No, I'm just kidding.
No, they did forget, and someone straight on the red line.
Okay. But let me share with you this spot image is that when the teacher reading not loud, she has small voice, low voice. She tells a story about the woods. And all the kids just shut up their mouths and then gather around and listen to the adult telling a story. So I'm saying that adults has responsibility to choose some opportunity to expose younger generation to the natural world, so that when they grow up, maybe this is just like saving account in the bank. When they grow up, maybe sometimes it will stimulate their brain to make a decision to become an environmental responsible citizen. But I cannot tell you when. But just like saving, if you do not save money in your saving deposit account, when you actually need to use money, the cruel situation is you do not have any money that you can use. So this is also raising my concern. Even the people are handicapped, they are also required and need to be provided meaningful outdoor experience like these kids. And when you see their face, they are happy, even the teacher. Okay? When they expose themselves to the challenge in the natural world, they can not only raise their concern or their learning on the knowledge side, but also human interaction, the trust, the confidence on themselves or on other people, collaboration, teamwork. This is a very attractive image. Adult, children stay together to do a night observation under the guidance of an interpreter. This is a very attractive image. I always think. because I knew these people. They are my friend. This is Professor Zhang Zichao. Not only in Taiwan, everywhere in the world, every adult try to do their best to provide meaningful contact to the natural world in the early age. This was happened in southern Melbourne, in a forest learning center. So you can see 10-year-old student are drinking water from the teacher. And this area is the watershed of the water provided area of Melbourne. All these parents are leading and interpreted by a naturalist. So not only student, youngster, they are needed to provided with contact experience with nature, but also adult. I believe if we have chance to bring you guys to national park, to all the nature area, I believe you will act like this, because we all have curiosity, and learning outside sometimes is very exciting. And under the interpretation, adults and kids can learn, and actually meaningful learning in the real thing. When two children, they are standing behind the corn they grown by themselves, they feel proud. And this experience seldom happen now in Taiwan, because if you ask teacher, if the teacher asks kids, where comes the milk? Most of the students will answer, from supermarket, from Welcome or 7-Eleven. And student and youngster, young boy, young children, they learn comprehensively. They are not learned by different subject area. They learn totally comprehensively, just like they keep the balance. When they reach the edge of know how to keep the balance of riding the bike, then suddenly he or she won't forget. All his life, he will develop the ability of riding the bicycle, won't fall down. This is a magic. They learn comprehensively from outside and inner side. Wow, this is big. Next turn, if Professor Zhang provide another course to understand Taiwan, you probably should ask the professor to bring you to the real woods, Hinoki in Taiwan, to understand how great the nature is. But I brought my son to Olympic National Park. But as you can see, the young kid can feel how big the life is. Probably he cannot tell how old the tree is, but the impression is deeply on her mind, on his mind. If the children are provided with the experience, then the environmental sensitivity of his feeling will be high. This was happened in my university, not in Taida. I'm not saying Taida, I'm not concerned about tree. But in Shida, my university, sometimes trimming the tree like trimming the flower. And no any student complain about it. This has raised my concern is, if the university student are not feel anything, feel any change, or feel any loss about this, how can you ask or require the student become adults will vote no to any inappropriate large-scale construction. See, this is